A cry in the smoke. The ground was black and broken. Smoke rose from crushed metal and burning wires. Buildings stood half fallen, and the sky was gray with ash. Cole, a human scavenger, moved slowly through the ruins with his gas mask on and a scanner in hand. He wasn't here to help anyone, just searching for old tech and food rations. This alien city had been attacked 2 weeks ago. No one came back, no rescue, no survivors, that's what the report said. But as Cole stepped over broken glass and twisted doors, his scanner beeped softly. Life form detected. Cole stopped. The scanner glowed red. That can't be right, he muttered. He turned the corner. The broken remains of a bunker sat near a wall that had been blasted open. He stepped closer. Inside was dark, silent. Then he heard it, a sound, faint, soft, like crying. He turned off the scanner and listened. Yes, there it was again. A child's sob, weak, afraid. Cole didn't hesitate. He dropped his bag and crawled through the gap in the wall. His boots crunched ash and dust. The air inside was thick. It was hot. Hard to breathe. Hello? He called softly. No answer. Just more soft whimpers. He followed the sound and turned into a room barely lit by the red glow of an emergency light. That's when he saw her. An alien woman, thin, dirty, and shaking, curled in the corner. Her arms were wrapped around 3 tiny alien children, all crying softly into her body. She looked up with wide, glowing eyes filled with fear. Her skin was pale gray, and her clothes were torn. Her body was bruised and weak. "Stay back," she said in a broken voice, holding the children tighter. "I'm not here to hurt you," Cole said, raising his hands slowly. She didn't believe him. She tried to cover the babies with her body, trembling. One of the little ones reached out with a tiny hand, touching Cole's boot. It looked up with big, innocent eyes, barely able to keep them open. Cole's heart broke. "I have food," he said gently. He took off his pack and opened it slowly, showing dry ration bars and a small water bottle. "You all look starving." The mother didn't move. Her eyes were filled with fear and confusion. He broke a piece of the bar and slowly placed it on the floor, then backed away. The alien mother stared at him for a long time. Then slowly she reached forward and grabbed the food. She gave it to the smallest child, who ate it like it hadn't tasted anything in days. Tears ran down her face. "Why?" she asked in a whisper. "Why help us?" Cole looked at the kids. Their ribs were showing. Their cheeks were hollow. One of them had burn marks on his leg. "No one should die like this," Cole said quietly. "Not children." He took off his thick jacket and placed it over the children. One of them giggled softly and curled up inside it. The giggle was so light, so innocent, it made Cole blink back emotion. The alien mother stared at him like she was seeing something impossible. "I thought humans hated our kind," she said. "Some do," Cole replied. "I don't." She looked down at her kids. One of them had already fallen asleep. The other 2 looked up at Cole with silent wonder. One of the triplets touched his hand and whispered, "Duh." Cole blinked. "What does that mean?" The mother swallowed hard. "It means protector." Cole didn't know what to say. Then suddenly, a loud bang from outside. The mother panicked and pulled her kids close again. "They found us!" "Who?" Cole asked. "Hunters. Trackers," she whispered. "They want to take my babies." Cole stood, grabbed his scanner, and ran to the wall. The red light blinked faster now. Something was moving outside, but it wasn't human. "I won't let them hurt you," Cole said firmly. The mother looked at him. Her hands shook. Her lips trembled. "Why would a human protect us?" He looked back at her. "Because I still have a soul." Outside, shadows passed across the broken city, but in that dark bunker in the middle of war and ash, a small light of hope had been lit, and Cole wasn't going to let it die. Cole moved fast through the broken city, carrying the alien mother and her 3 children in his arms and pack. The bunker wasn't safe anymore. Something had triggered his scanner. Movement, maybe drones, maybe worse. The mother's name, he learned, was Saya. She was weak, barely able to walk. One child lay against her chest, sleeping. The other 2 peeked out from inside Cole's coat, their small eyes blinking at the gray sky. "We can't go to the human camps," she said, gasping for air. "They'll take me. Take them." Cole stopped. "What are you talking about? You'll be safer there." She shook her head, panic in her eyes. "I escaped. I was sold." Her voice cracked. "I was taken after the war," she whispered. "Kept in the markets, passed between hands. I ran the first chance I got. They branded me." She pulled down her shoulder, revealing a strange, glowing mark, burned into her skin. Cole stared at it. "It's a tracker," she said. "Not just a brand, it sends a signal." Cole swore under his breath. He looked around. "They'll find us." "I know," she whispered. He had a choice. Leave her, or risk his life again. But then one of the triplets laughed softly, still wrapped in his jacket, completely unaware of danger. That sound made Cole's heart tighten. "We're going somewhere safe," he said firmly. They found shelter in an old train tunnel, covered in thick vines and dust. Cole knew about it from old maps. It hadn't been used since the war began. Inside, the tunnel was cold and damp, but hidden. No satellites could scan through the old iron walls. Cole started a small fire. He handed Saya more food and helped the kids warm their hands. "I still don't understand," he said. "Why would your own people sell you?" She looked at him with tired eyes. "Because I broke tradition. I loved someone not chosen by my clan. They called me shameful. When war came, they offered me as payment to keep peace." Cole was silent. The fire crackled between them. Saya continued. "My mate died in the first attack. I was left alone with 3 children. No one wanted us, so they handed me to the slavers." Cole clenched his fists. "Where were the humans?" he asked. "Your people left too," she said. "Once the mines were empty." Cole remembered now. His unit had passed through this region years ago. It was quiet then. The war hadn't fully reached this side of the stars, but things changed fast. "Not all humans are the same," he said. She looked down. "Not all aliens either." One of the triplets crawled into Cole's lap again. It rested its small head against his chest and closed its eyes. "You're warm," Saya whispered. "They like you." Cole looked at the tiny body against him. "I like them too." Later that night, Cole stepped outside the tunnel entrance to check his scanner again. The signal was still weak, but steady. Someone was tracking them, probably following the brand on her neck. He cursed. Time was running out. He turned to Saktubi, "Go back inside," but froze. In the distance, under the broken skyline, a glowing red drone hovered in the air. It moved slowly, scanning the area. It hadn't seen him, yet. He ducked behind rubble and held his breath. After a few tense minutes, the drone floated away, moving toward the western ridge. Cole exhaled and rushed back inside. "We need to leave soon," he said. That drone was close. Saya's face went pale. "They'll never stop." "Then we'll go where they can't reach." She looked unsure. "Where could that be?" "There's an old human shuttle port 2 sectors from here," he said. "Abandoned, but I know it still has underground bunkers. I served there once." Saya bit her lip. Why are you doing this for me?" "For us?" Cole paused. "I've seen enough war," he said. "I'm tired of watching good people die. If I can save even one family, I will." She said nothing, but her eyes glistened. The triplets curled beside him, now asleep and warm. One of them mumbled something in a soft alien language, then reached out and grabbed Cole's fingers. He held on. For the first time, in a long time, Cole felt something more than just survival. He felt needed. The morning was quiet, but too quiet. Cole sat near the tunnel's entrance, holding his scanner tightly. The red dot that tracked the signal had faded for now, but he knew it would return. They had bought some time, nothing more. Inside the tunnel, Saya rested against the wall, her arms wrapped around her sleeping children. The triplets were finally full and warm, their tiny chests rising and falling gently. But Saya couldn't sleep. She kept touching the glowing mark on her neck with shaking fingers. Cole came closer and sat beside her. That thing, the brand. I think it's more than a tracker. Saya nodded slowly. You're right. She pulled her long hair aside. It doesn't just send signals. It controls. Cole looked at her with sharp eyes. Controls? Yes, she whispered. If I disobey orders, it burns. If I try to escape too far, I faint. Sometimes it whispers things into my mind. She turned to him, her face pale. I'm afraid it's not just tracking me, it's learning everything I see and hear. Cole's blood ran cold. Then it's listening right now? Saya shook her head. Only when activated, but once it's awake, it transmits. Cole pulled out a tool from his belt. We need to remove it. Saya backed away, fear in her eyes. No. If you touch it wrong, it could explode. I saw it happen once. To a girl like me. She screamed until her body stopped moving. Cole lowered the tool slowly. Then we disable it another way. I'll find something. Saya looked at him. Why do you keep helping? He didn't answer at first. Then he looked toward the triplets, sleeping peacefully, and said, Because I couldn't protect my own family. But maybe I can protect yours. Hours later, Cole searched through the nearby ruins. He wore a thick coat and kept his head low. His goal, find a med kit or an old command tablet, anything that could hack or deactivate the brand. He found a burned military transport near the edge of the city. Most of it was useless junk, but in a locked crate he found an old medical override chip. If it still worked, it could block signals for a short time, maybe just enough to stop the brand from sending data. He hurried back. Inside the tunnel, Saya was humming a soft lullaby to her children. The sound was sweet, but her eyes were filled with pain. I got something, Cole said. He held up the chip. If I press it near the brand, it might block the signal. Saya didn't move. What if it doesn't? Cole knelt beside her. Then I'm here, and I'll catch you if you fall. Slowly she nodded. She sat still as he pressed the chip to the glowing mark on her neck. For a second, nothing. Then the brand flickered and went dark. Saya gasped and fell forward. Cole caught her before she hit the ground. Her body trembled, then stilled. I'm okay, she whispered after a few minutes. The glow was gone. The brand was silent. Cole sighed in relief. It worked, he said. But only for now. This chip won't last forever. Saya looked at him with tired eyes. Even one day of peace is more than I had in years. Then one of the triplets crawled over and looked up at Cole. Duh, the little one said again. Saya smiled faintly. They think you're their protector now. Cole chuckled. I guess I am. But peace didn't last long. That night, the fire burned low. The wind howled outside the tunnel. Cole couldn't sleep. He kept checking the scanner. Then it blinked. Fast. Something was coming. He stepped outside carefully and saw something strange. In the sky. A black shape flew above, silent, fast, and circling. It wasn't a drone. It was something worse. A seeker beast, bio-engineered, used by alien warlords to hunt escaped slaves. It smelled DNA. It never stopped once locked on. Cole rushed back inside. We have to move now, he said. Saya's face turned pale. How did they find us? The brand may be off, but maybe it already sent your location before we blocked it. She grabbed her children and stood up. Then we run. Cole picked up his bag and held the smallest triplet in his arms. They ran through the side exit of the tunnel, into the thick trees beyond the old train line. The seeker beast howled behind them, far, but getting closer. As they ran, Saya looked at Cole and said, "If I don't make it, please protect them." "You're going to make it," Cole growled. "I won't let anything happen to you." In the forest, under the stars, a human man ran through smoke and dirt, not to save his own life, but to protect a mother and 3 children who were never his. But, in their little hearts, they had already decided he was family. The moonlight shone weakly through the clouds as Cole led Saya and her triplets deeper into the forest. The trees were tall, their branches like dark claws. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves, made them jump. Behind them something howled. It wasn't an animal, it was something built to hunt. Cole tightened his grip on the triplet in his arms. The child's little hands clung to his jacket, silent but scared. "We can't keep running," Saya whispered, panting. "They'll find us." Cole looked around. "There's an old factory ahead. I saw it on the map. It might have cover." The howling came again. Closer. Cole picked up the pace. Saya followed, her arms wrapped around the other 2 children, her legs shaking. She had no strength left, but she kept moving. For them. Finally, the trees opened, and a shadowy building appeared. Half-collapsed walls, broken doors, and vines covered the surface. It looked dead, and that made it perfect. They slipped inside. The air was thick with dust. Cole moved carefully through the dark, searching for anything that could help. Then he heard it, a slow clicking sound. He turned. Red eyes glowed in the dark. High up near the ceiling, the seeker beast had found them. Saya gasped. "Run!" "No," Cole said, his voice sharp. "It's too fast. We fight." He placed the triplet down gently behind a wall. "Stay quiet," he whispered. The beast leapt down. It was tall and lean, its body part metal, part flesh. Long claws scratched the floor. Its head turned toward Cole, sniffing. It moved without sound. Cole grabbed a broken pipe from the floor. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. The beast charged. Cole jumped aside, smashing the pipe into its side. Sparks flew, but it didn't stop. Saya screamed as it leapt at her. Cole grabbed a loose metal sheet and threw it, striking the beast's head. It roared and turned back toward him. The children cried. One of them shouted, "Da!" The sound made Cole stronger. He stood tall, chest heaving. He had faced enemies before, but this time, he wasn't fighting for a mission. He was fighting for family. The battle tore through the factory. The beast slashed walls, smashed through crates, and threw Cole across the floor. Blood dripped from his mouth. But he didn't stop. He grabbed a wire from the wall and wrapped it around a broken power unit. The beast charged again. Cole waited. Then, he threw the wire into a puddle at the beast's feet. Electricity surged. The beast howled, its body shaking wildly, sparks flying from its joints. Then, silence. It dropped to the floor, dead. Cole collapsed beside it, breathing hard. Saya ran to him, her face filled with fear. "Are you hurt?" "I've had worse," he coughed. "Just need a minute." One of the triplets crawled into his lap. Another wiped blood from his cheek. "You protected us," Saya said, voice shaking. "You're not just cargo," Cole said quietly. "You're people, and I'm not letting anyone take you again." That night they made a small camp deep in the factory's lower level. Saya bandaged Cole's wounds, using cloth from her sleeves. She worked in silence, her hands gentle. When she was done, Cole looked at her. "You said the brand was off, but they still found you." Saya nodded slowly. "There might be something else. Something hidden inside me. Maybe. Something they put during captivity. Then we need to find someone who can scan you." She looked unsure. "Who would help me?" "I know someone," Cole said. "Old friend, human doctor, lives off the grid. She looked at him, her eyes soft. You've risked everything for me and my children. Why? Cole didn't answer right away. He looked at the children, sleeping beside them. One had curled against his chest, completely trusting. Then he whispered, because no one was there for my family when they needed help. I won't make the same mistake twice. Saeya reached out and touched his hand. Thank you, Cole. For a moment, the ruins around them felt warmer, safer. But outside, beyond the broken walls, another drone hovered. It watched silently, and then it sent a message. Target confirmed. Prepare next wave. The old factory was quiet. Ash floated through the cracks in the broken ceiling. The fire Cole had built was small but warm. Around it, the triplets slept peacefully, curled against their mother's side. Their tiny chests rose and fell in rhythm, their faces soft and calm. Saeya didn't sleep. She sat across from Cole, staring into the fire, her knees pulled to her chest. Her eyes were red, not from tears, but from everything she had seen. Cole leaned back against the cold wall. His wound still burned from the fight with the Seeker beast, but he didn't complain. He was watching her. She had barely spoken in hours. Finally, Saeya looked up. Why did you save us? She asked quietly. Her voice shook. Why me? Cole didn't answer at first. He looked into the fire. Because someone should have saved my family. Saeya's brows furrowed. What do you mean? Cole took a breath. There was a colony. Human. My wife and daughter were there when it was attacked. I was away working on a supply run. I got back too late. His voice was calm, but his hands tightened into fists. I found only smoke. And silence. Saeya lowered her head. I joined the military after that, Cole said. Not to fight. For orders, but to save people, anyone. Even if they weren't human. She wiped her eyes. So when you saw me and my children, I saw someone I could still save, he finished. There was a long pause. The fire popped softly. Then Saeya spoke again. I haven't told you everything, she said. Cole looked at her. Saeya pulled the edge of her torn sleeve down to reveal her shoulder. Along with the burned-in brand was a scar. Thin, deep, and recent. They didn't just use me as a slave, she whispered. They experimented on me. Cole leaned forward. What did they do? They implanted something inside me. I don't know what it is, but it hurts sometimes, burns like fire under my skin. She trembled as she spoke. They said it would let them find me if I ever ran, that I could never be free again. Cole's jaw clenched. We'll take it out. You don't even know what it is. Then we'll find someone who does, Cole said firmly. I told you I won't let anyone hurt you again. One of the triplets stirred in his sleep. He reached toward Cole, eyes barely open. Da. Cole caught his tiny hand and held it gently. Saeya watched him. I didn't think anyone could be kind again, she whispered. Not after all that happened. Cole looked at her. You're stronger than you think. She gave a soft laugh. I'm not strong, I'm scared all the time. I lie awake wondering if I'll wake up alone, or if they'll take my babies while I sleep. That's not weakness, Cole said. That's being a mother. Saeya blinked fast to stop her tears. No one ever told me that, she said. Outside, the wind howled against the factory walls. The storm was getting closer. Cole checked his scanner. No signals nearby. But he didn't trust silence anymore. They'll come again, he said. Drones. Maybe worse. Saeya looked at him. We should run. We'll do more than run, Cole said. We'll vanish. I have access to a transport ship hidden in the North Woods. I was going to sell it for scrap. But now it might be our way out. She looked down at the sleeping children. Can they handle that journey? They're stronger than they look, Cole said. Saeya smiled faintly. Like you. Later that night, Cole sat watch at the doorway while Saya curled beside her children, finally asleep. He looked up at the stars through the broken roof. Kaig, heart felt heavier than ever, but also lighter. He still carried the pain of the past, but now he had a reason to keep going. Not revenge, not duty, family. Back in the sky, high above the ruined factory, a black ship hovered quietly. Inside, a voice spoke coldly. Subject marked, prepare capture unit, alive if possible, dead if not. The hunt was far from over, but Cole didn't know that yet. All he knew was that he had found something worth fighting for, and he would fight to the end. The morning air was sharp and cold. Cole pushed open the rusted factory door and peeked outside. The storm clouds were rolling in fast. He checked his scanner again, no red dots, no signals, but he didn't relax. The last drone had appeared without warning. There could be others. Inside, Saya was wrapping the triplets in cloth she had torn from her own dress. She smiled faintly as one of them clung to her arm, giggling softly. They think we're going on a trip, she said quietly. We are, Cole replied. But it's not going to be easy. She looked up. Where? To a black market outpost, he said. About 2 sectors west. I know someone there. He sells old tech. If anyone has a cloaking device or identity scrambler, it's him. Saya's eyes narrowed. And the price? Cole paused. Everything I have. The journey was long and rough. Cole carried the children most of the way while Saya struggled to keep her balance. She never asked to rest. Not once. She just walked beside him, one arm around her belly, the other wiping away the sweat. They passed burned forests and broken highways. The world had no warmth left in it. But when the children smiled, it gave them strength. Finally, after a full day's travel, they reached it, a hidden entrance carved into the rocks of a canyon wall. Cole knocked in a strange pattern. Heavy metal door creaked open. The man inside was short, with thick gray skin and a robotic eye. His name was Routh and he didn't smile. Cole, he growled. Didn't expect you to crawl back here. I need something, Cole said. Cloaking tech, the kind that fools deep trackers. Routh squinted, then his gaze shifted to Saya and the children. A grin spread across his face. Oh, I see now. You finally found yourself a family? Cole didn't answer. Routh stepped closer to Saya. Pretty little thing, and triplets, that's rare. Cole stepped between them. The tech, Routh. I know you have it. I do, Routh said, licking his cracked lips. But it's not free. I'll trade everything I have. Routh laughed. You don't have much, old friend. Cole reached into his jacket and pulled out a small device, a data cube, containing years of military maps, secret locations, and access codes. Routh's smile froze. You'd give this up? That's worth a planet's ransom. Only if you give me the cloaker, and let us walk out of here in peace. Routh scratched his chin. Tempting, but I want something else too. He pointed at Saya. She's marked. I can sell her back to the same people who lost her, or sell her off to someone who wants rare types. Cole's eyes turned cold. That's not happening. Then no deal, Routh said flatly. Cole took a step forward. Think carefully. Because if you try to touch her, there won't be a next breath. Routh looked at him for a long time, then he grinned. Still the same bleeding heart. Fine. Take the cloaker. But get out of here. Next time I won't be so kind. Back outside, the wind was rising. Cole handed the cloaking chip to Saya. This will hide you, even from heat scans, but only for a short time. Saya stared at him. You traded your whole life's worth? For me? For you. For them. For a future. Her eyes filled with tears. You could have sold me to him. He would have paid more than anyone ever did. Cole looked away, jaw tight. You're not a thing to be sold. She stepped closer, and yet, you bought our freedom. He didn't answer, but the way the triplets looked at him, with wide, trusting eyes, said everything. To them, he wasn't just a man. He was their protector, their home. That night, they camped under a rocky ledge. The stars were hidden by storm clouds. Cole sat with the chip in his hand, thinking of everything he had given up. His past was gone now. No way to return to Earth. No access to his unit. No backup. But he didn't feel empty. He looked at Saya sleeping beside the children, her arms stretched over them like a shield. He felt something new. Peace. Far away, Routh activated a hidden comm link. They're headed north, human with alien female and 3 infants. A voice on the other end replied, "Understood. Send a tracer drone. Make sure they don't leave the sector alive." Routh smiled. No one escapes forever. Snow fell softly over the forest as Cole stepped out of the shuttle. His boots sank into the white ground. The cold bit through his clothes, but he didn't care. Ahead, tucked between the trees, was a small wooden shelter, simple, quiet, and hidden from the world. "This is it," he said. Behind him, Saya stepped out, wrapped in blankets, her triplets held close. Her eyes widened at the peaceful land. "It's beautiful." Cole smiled faintly. No one comes this far north. No scanners, no patrols, just silence. The triplets ran ahead, laughing for the first time in days. Their little footprints dotted the snow. One slipped and fell, but giggled instead of crying. Saya looked at Cole. "We're really safe now?" He nodded. "I think so." But even as he said it, a small worry crept into his mind. Routh had watched them leave, and men like Routh didn't let things go. Inside the shelter, a small fire crackled in the old hearth. Cole placed the cloaking chip into a wall panel. It hummed, then lit up blue. "We're invisible now," he said. "No heat, no life signals. We're ghosts." Saya sat down beside the fire, holding one child on her lap while the other 2 lay beside her, yawning. This feels like a dream," she whispered. "It's real," Cole said. "You're free." She looked at him with soft eyes. "Because of you." He didn't speak, just stared into the fire, lost in thought. Later that night, the triplets were asleep. Snow tapped gently on the window. Saya sat beside Cole, both wrapped in old blankets. "You gave up your world for us," she said. Cole shook his head. "I didn't lose anything. I found something." She smiled. "They already call you Da. I don't think they'll stop." He looked down at his hands. "I'm not their father. You are to them." He glanced at her. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Saving us?" He looked at her, his voice steady. "Never." Then she reached over and gently held his hand. No more words were needed. At dawn, the forest was silent. But above the clouds, something moved. A tracer drone. Small, black, deadly. It hovered above the hidden shelter for just 5 seconds. It didn't fire. It only scanned. Then it flew off. Cole woke up with a chill in his spine. His scanner blinked. He sat up fast. Something had passed overhead. Saya opened her eyes. "What is it?" He checked the readings. "I think we were scanned." Her face went pale. "I thought the cloaking—" "It did work," Cole said, "but only just." He stood quickly, grabbing his old blaster. "Pack a bag. If they return, they won't scan, they'll strike." But hours passed, nothing came. The day rolled on. The snow melted slightly. The triplets played with sticks outside. Saya cooked soup using old herbs. Cole stood guard, but no shadows moved in the trees. Evening came, and finally, peace returned. That night, they sat around the fire again. The triplets fell asleep against Cole, all 3 curled up on his lap like puppies. Saya leaned against his shoulder, her voice soft. "They love you. I'm starting to love them back," he said. She looked at him carefully. "And me?" He turned his head. "Yes, he said simply. You too. She closed her eyes, resting her head against him. For the first time in forever, she felt safe. Back. In the galaxy's darker corners, Routh checked his tracker. No response, he muttered. Then he scowled. How the hell did they vanish? He slammed the console. They're ghosts now, the voice on the comms replied. Ghosts don't stay hidden forever, Routh growled, but in the north, hidden deep in the forest, a small shelter glowed warmly, under the stars. Inside, a human man held 3 sleeping alien children in his arms, and across from him, the mother who once feared humans now smiled with love in her eyes. She was no longer a slave. The children were no longer orphans, and Cole was no longer alone. This was home now, and no one was taking it away.